Hello, hello. Hope you guys are doing great today. I'm Andy Santos. This is Matt Ollis, and we are sitting here today to go over some pretty exciting stuff. The topic of this part is going to be how to increase your income by working smarter, not harder. How do you make your business more sustainable as you're growing your business throughout the years and your roles are shifting and changing to be able to maximize your time? And so we're going to be doing this. So I want to, before we get into it, this part is geared toward reservicing. And what we're going to talk about today is we're going to cover three kind of main macro pieces to equip you. So when you're done watching this video, it should answer 85 to 90% of the questions on what to do, why to do it, and how to do it, so you can add this to your toolbox and really streamline your time and get way more for your minute you spend out on the field. So before I get into it, I want to introduce Matt, because you all know Matt, but this is his 6th year with Family Heritage.
Yeah.
Right on.
Bam.
Absolutely. He's married to Maria, his lovely wife. Matt is a national director with Family Heritage. And let me tell you some numbers just to back this up and why we're doing this part, because I've noticed from watching Matt how his team grows, his recruiting continues to improve, all his numbers are going up, yet he still finds a way to produce and oftentimes grow his personal sales year to year. So a couple numbers. In Matt's 4th year with us back in 2015, he personally produced $160,000 in premium. And what's really unique about that number is roughly 75% of that total production came from reservicing existing clients. And Matt, what percentage of that do you think were your own clients?
Maybe a third.
So 2/3 of these people he's been reservicing and protecting with additional coverage are people he's never met and have never met him and were signed up by an agent who's no longer with Family Heritage.
Yep.
So interesting. So then in 2016, Matt went out again, recruited 10 or more people personally, wrote $150,000 in premium, and again, 75% of that total personal production came from reservicing, and the majority of that was people he'd never met. Okay. So, and a very recent example is, let me know if this sounds appealing to you, but what if you could go on a train more, have your whole team do well, have plenty of time to spend with your people in the field, and still go out and write an eagle in 4 days? And that's exactly what Matt did on the last Train More. 100% of that production came from reservicing. And how many of those clients were your own clients? None. Okay? So what we're telling you is not a replacement for our current system, but it is certainly a phenomenal addition you can do. And as you're around the business longer and your plate gets fuller and you're managing more people and you're spinning more plates, it makes sense to work smarter, not harder. So one other objection we often get is that people say, especially newer leaders in the business, is they'll say, well, man, I'm learning how to sell, but I'm really afraid to take time to go train someone or to come in and interview someone because it might hurt my ability to personally hit my goals, personal sales wise. But what we're about to show you will completely squash that. If you learn this, embrace this, and add it to what you're doing, it can give you a whole bunch of phenomenal, just a whole bunch of phenomenal tools, a whole bunch of ways to just maximize your time and still hit or exceed your personal goal and have plenty of time to do the other things you need to be doing. So I've personally enjoyed sitting back and watching Matt take ownership of learning how to do this. Matt essentially learned this from reading 2 scripts written in 1987, seems like, that were, from so long ago, and he took that and said, I'm going to figure this out, and he's really mastered it. So we're going to pull the curtain back today, and we're going to show you exactly how to get prepared to do this and how to execute it. So as soon as you make the decision, you can go out and totally take your business to another level and take advantage of this incredible resource, which is thousands and thousands and thousands of people who have our product and have no agent and haven't been talked to by anybody. Anyway, so we're going to kind of stick to these 3 things, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Ollis first to talk about why and then we'll shift gears into preparing to set ourselves up to do well when we go ahead and do it. So Matt, why don't you talk about why this makes sense to incorporate reservicing in your business?
Yeah, so this is great. There's so many reasons why reservicing is a great tool just to use and start incorporating. As a team leader, which a lot of us that are watching this video are, it's a great tool to train a new agent and guarantee a PIF. I'm a firm believer that you can go out and do your 2 out of 3 with that person, but then, man, how sweet would it be to have a late night appointment with a warm client at the end of the night and guarantee getting them on the board. It's going to help you get on the board, help them get on the board, and it's going to help that new agent connect to their names in their territory. It's going to help that new agent who's in their first couple of weeks, phase 1, see what phase 2 and phase 3 really looks like right then and there. So you're helping them see what the next step is. It's going to help you sell and recruit. You know, you can recruit 10 people in a year and sell over 150,000 and train a lot of those folks. If you're doing this right, you know, you can be in the field for a limited amount of time and still get a builder's week each week, and then spend the whole rest of your week recruiting and training other agents. It can help you have a fast start on a Train More. And I think something we all know is if you have a big Monday on a Train More, that's going to set you up for a big week. And if you just keep going and then work through, you're going to have a great week. But it can really help jumpstart your week with production, momentum, names. Let's see what else. Your stuff is going to stay on the books way better. Your business is going to stay on the books way better when you're reservicing your clients. But guys, on the flip side is if we sign up a family and we never go back and see them, there's going to be a certain percentage that's just going to drop off because they forgot what they bought. You know, they may not even know if the company's in business anymore. They may have thought you're some fly-by-night guy. But when you show up just that second time, you're going to create that connection and they're going to stay on the books so much better. It's going to give you variety in your career. I mean, if you're just doing the same thing every day, guys, I've been doing this for 6 years. It can get a little, it can get stale sometimes if you don't mix it up and add some variety. So it can add a little bit of variety. Also, I mean, we sold these folks an insurance policy, either us or another agent. And I think part of the commitment they expected is probably hearing from an agent as well and making sure they know what they own is just, you know, us being a good agent. Most of the time we owe them money. So it's really fun to find people $300, $500, $2,000. Also, you can get tons of warm leads from getting referred into businesses, but also going to see some of their friends and family that never had a chance to see it. The biggest reason, though, of why we service is it's just a ton of fun once you kind of know what you're doing. It might take you 10 or 15 demos to kind of get in the groove, but once you know, it's so much fun and I could do it forever.
Quick question for you, Matt.
Yeah.
So I know it seems like weekly we hear that you found a new claim,
Yeah.
and policyholders had the policy forever, never filed a claim,
Yep.
and you just keep popping up these IRAs that you're getting written in these areas, sometimes upwards of $50,000-$60,000 that you're getting processed for folks that had never even met you.
Yeah.
How powerful is that for you in that area when you've done that, and then how does that carry over and help you, outside of reservicing?
Yeah, so again, it's powerful for you and it's powerful for your team, because if you can help a new agent in an area have a local claim, that's pretty amazing. And same thing for Train Wars. I mean, our Train War we're going on in Decatur, and there's 4 local claims and there's no IRAs. And so when we get those IRAs filled out, it's going to be huge because it builds your belief in what we do. Most of the time when you file these families, you find them, we actually owe them even more money, which is really exciting. And most of them have not had the opportunity. So it makes it so valuable when you've got a local IRA. It's valuable in you selling, but also your team.
Awesome. Well, I think we're all probably pretty stoked to hear. Well, gosh, one of the fears we always hear about is, okay, I'm sold. The idea sounds great. I'd love to. What the heck do I do? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to get prepared. So talk to us about, how you get prepared and plan out, and if we could almost just make a checklist of what to do to even get yourself in the position to go out and execute it once it's time.
Yep, absolutely. I would say the biggest key to reservicing is simply planning. That's all it is, because it's really, really simple and it's really easy, but it does take some planning and thinking a couple weeks ahead of time. So some basic ideas is you want to plan 2 weeks ahead of time. You want to plan in your weekly game plan that you're doing each week when you're going to order your names list. It's a little thing, but just protecting that time, because sometimes these little things that are important don't get checked off if we don't set a specific time to actually do them. So you want to plan a time 2 weeks ahead of time of when you're actually going to figure out what county you're reservicing and the names that you want. The next week, 1 week after that, that weekly game plan that you're doing, you want to go ahead and and plan the phone time. So you've ordered the names list, you've planned time to do the names list. Now 1 week out doing the weekly game plan, you're planning to do your phone time. I think it's a good idea if you're gonna do this seriously to plan 2 hours a week for that phoning. And the ideal time to do that is after 5 or on a Saturday or Sunday. So you need to plan in your weekly game plan, when am I gonna do 2 hours of phone time of reservicing to have that happen, and you got to protect it. Same thing.
And so Matt, so why 2 hours? I mean, what if you get your reservice list, you request it 2 weeks ahead of time.
Yep.
Sweet. It takes a week or so to get that back. So now you're gonna reservice the following week, and you've protected some time in your weekly game plan for the week you're in to then call these people.
Yep.
So why 2 hours, or what does that equate to in terms of on average appointments that you've set? And so then the folks watching this might be able to say, okay, well maybe I want 10 appointments or whatever.
Yeah.
So what you're thinking with that, and just explain maybe the ratio.
Sure. So I think it varies a little bit depending on how old some of the clients are and how current the information is. But in general, I think if you're calling for an hour, you can expect 2 appointments. Now, sometimes you'll have 4, and sometimes you might just have 1. But on average, I think conservatively, if you're trying to use it for goal setting, I think 2 appointments per hour is pretty accurate.
Nice. And Matt, do you take into consideration when you get this list, it shows their ages and it shows where they live, and which is all protected. So this is not something you want to give to another agent. If you request it and I approve it to go to you, that means it's for your eyes only.
Yep.
So this is not something you're to give to anybody else. It's highly confidential information. But you have that information. You have their birthday, so you know how old they are. You have what they bought, all that stuff. So do you, when you're phoning them, do you cherry pick? Like, how do you know who to call? Does that even matter, or do you just call down the list regardless of how old they are or where they live or whatever?
Yeah, so it'll depend. I'll look at where I'm going to be working that week, and then there's going to be, you're calling on a whole county, so there will be anywhere from 3 to 7 different cities in that county. So I try and call city by city first. Okay. Just to try and stay in the same area, and then I look at my calendar. I'll have a calendar. I still use a paper calendar, but I will try and set up 1 or 2 morning appointments of retired folks. So I'll call folks that are 60 plus to try and fill in my 10 to 11:30 and my 11:30 to 1 slots, and then I'll also call some other families and try and set up that 8 to 8:30, 6:30 to 7 slots at the end of the day. I don't like having a lot of appointments in the middle of the day. If I do, I like it all to be back to back to back to back. If I have 6 appointments that day, that's great. But I'll start from the beginning and I'll start from the end. And yeah, I'll go with retired folks. Usually if a family is 60 plus, one of them is typically retired, I've found, on average. So I feel like I can usually at least get a hold of the right person.
Great. And does that mean that if you say you've got 2 appointments in the morning and 2 in the evening, and you're planning on being in the field that day, let's say you're planning the whole day in the field and you're not interviewing in the middle of the day, would you still go out and sell normally between those appointments?
Yeah. So you're going to do it in your order of operation. So the idea, one of the perks of doing reservicing is you're going to get a lot of warm leads. So hopefully from those first 2 morning appointments, I got enough warm leads that I can go to and to Carla on the way. That's ideal. So HR people, other retired friends, things like that. So that's going to be my first step. But also you want to think in the back of your head, if you don't have enough of those, there's 2 options. A is going to some of those folks that are probably retired and swinging by their home if you weren't able to see them. The other option is also having a street that you're going to map. And I would probably plan that, especially earlier on, if you're just getting started reservicing, is plan to still map for at least 2 to 4 hours in the middle of the day in that area so that you still stay on track. Because otherwise, it's kind of like working referrals in the beginning, where if you're not careful, you can get a lot of windshield time. So still plan some cold calling time or time where you're for sure going to be in front of people.
Okay. A couple of the things that we were going to ask you is, when you're setting the appointments, a lot of times newer agents can, or older agents, whoever, can get sucked into the specific time.
Yeah.
So how do you protect yourself against nailing yourself down at a specific time when reservicing?
Yeah, so when I'm setting the appointment, I'll go over how I do that, but usually I'm setting an appointment, I'm going for the next day or 2, like, hey, Susie, are you guys around tomorrow or Tuesday? Great. I'll usually give them an option of 2 days that I'm going to be reservicing. If they say, yeah, I'm like, awesome, right, I'll usually home after 4. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to look at my schedule and I'm going to try and put them in the place that I can fit best. But I always tell folks it's really hard for me to be exactly on time, Susie. Every appointment takes a different amount of time. So is it cool if I catch y'all between 7 and 8 or 7 and 7:30? Is that okay? Or 8 and 8:30? So you want to give yourself a half an hour to an hour window, because some appointments are going to take 25 minutes and some are going to take an hour and a half. So I give myself minimum a half an hour window, if not an hour. Mm-hmm. And most folks are totally cool with that.
Nice. 2 more quick ones. So
yeah.
Talk about how you incorporate, as you're like visualizing it when you're calling and stuff. Again, we'll go over the specifics of your actual phone approach and stuff in a minute, but how you visualize maybe geographically where they are, kind of strategically, planning out how you're going to go see them, and then also how you plan out drive times. That's something we oftentimes forget. We're like, well, I got a window here and a window here, but wait, they're 41 miles away.
Yeah. I
can't even make it halfway there before I'm supposed to be there.
Yeah. So 2 things. When you're actually phoning and you're looking at this, you want to try and stay in the same town. If you do have to go to the next town just because you're in the next town of reservicing, you want to plan accordingly for that drive time. So I will plug in on Yahoo Maps one address to the next one, or at least to the next town. So I have an idea, okay, there's going to be an extra 20 minutes of drive time or 30 minutes of drive time to get to that next appointment. So yeah, you just want to kind of be cognizant. But it's going to be more relevant. Usually if you're in the same town, it's going to be within 10 or 15 minutes. But if you're doing it in a county, some counties are 45 minutes away from one person to another.
Okay. And any other things prep-wise that you want to have with you when you're going, like in terms of any local claims or names lists or so that kind of stuff?
If you can, names list, if you've got it, is great. If you don't, it's okay when you're reservicing, I think.
Yeah.
But if you can have a claim, the closer the claim you can get to where that person lives, the better. So if there is one for that county, look it up, print it off. If it's not, it's okay. If there's just 1 or 2 if there's some in the state, just get the closest claim to where that person is as possible, because we're using that as proof later. You'll see in the presentation of, hey, people are using this, it works, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And talk about the last supplies.
The last part for sure is referral sheets, because this is such a great way to continue the sustainability of not only protecting that family with additional coverage, but getting more referrals into businesses and also friends and family that a lot of times were not already approached from the previous agent. So referral sheets is for sure something you want to have with you, along with the correct supplies. So you want to have pricing. Let's say you only do cancer presentations and you don't do a lot of heart and accident or hospital indemnity. You want to make sure you have all of the correct brochures, and pricing is a big thing right there with you. Little things, but that's definitely something you want to make sure you have with you so you're ready to go.
Awesome. Sweet, man. I think that was great in terms of prep, so well done. We're going to shift gears now into execution.
Cool.
So we're going to cover 3 main parts to this. 1 is going to be the phone approach. 2 is going to be the approach at the door if you don't have an appointment, which you do a lot of, right?
Yeah.
So don't get romance thinking that it's all just appointment setting. Matt rode an Eagle in 4 days on the last Train More, and how many of those were appointments?
Maybe 4.
And so like 6 or so were people you just showed up at and did the in-person approach. So that's super key. And then he's going to go over, so once you're sitting down, whether you showed up at the door or called for the appointment, exactly how to go through the process of a reservicing meeting, incorporating their policy review, referrals, and adding coverage. So
awesome.
All right, so let's start with the phone call.
Yeah. So I'll take my reservice sheet that I've got, I'll look at it right in front of me, and I'll kind of look and see who their agent was, which it'll show. I'll look at when they bought it.
Oh yeah, one more thing on this. Talk about the N and the A and
yeah, so on the far left, under the agent's name, it's going to show the first initial of the agent who sold it and their last name. If there's an NA underneath it, it means they're no longer active, and those are free for anyone to call on. If there's an A underneath it, that would be someone that means they're active agent, and you do not want to call on those people in general unless you got specific permission from like your team leader or that agent to do it. Like,
great.
Yeah, that's right. Andy's let me call on some of his clients, but that's gonna be a pretty rare instance. In general, if they're active, you're not gonna want to call on them.
Awesome. Okay, so back to the phone approach.
Yeah. No, it's good. So I'll look I'll have in front of me what level of coverage they've got. I'm gonna look and see, it shows the return of premium amount. And sometimes you can even see if it's a little lower than you think it should be. You can kind of tell if they've filed a claim or not. So it's just kind of paying attention to their monthly premium. I see their coverage. Awesome. So like, hey, is it Andy?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Andy, this is Matt Allis with Family Heritage. How are you?
I'm good.
Awesome.
How are you?
I'm great. You might remember taking out a cancer and ICU policy with us about 5 years ago.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, I remember getting that.
Cool. Well, hey, the reason why I was calling is I'm actually in your area this week, catching up with a lot of our clients, briefly reminding everyone how their plans work. Also, just checking to see if we owe any families any money. A lot of folks, especially the women, have been really good about doing their yearly checkups every year, and most folks had totally forgotten they can get money back for doing that sort of thing.
Okay.
If you don't mind me asking, have y'all been turning in your checkups to Family Heritage?
No, I don't think we have. Or maybe we did once, but I'm not. I don't think so.
Okay, no worries. Well, hey, what's exciting is we actually owe you a bunch of money, and I can show you how that works. So we've also had some local claims in the area of families that have actually used the policy. So I was going to see, we're supposed to catch up with everyone for just a couple minutes. Are y'all going to be around tomorrow after 5, or would Tuesday after 5 be better?
We won't be here on Monday. We have a football game, but Tuesday. Yeah, we'll be around on Tuesday.
Okay.
Like after probably. See, my wife will get home at a certain time. It's probably after 5.
Cool. And you and Carrie will both be there?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, hey, I've gotten a spot between 8 and 8:30. I know y'all are kind of a younger family. Is that okay if I catch you guys kind of at the end of the night?
That might be a little late. We got some kids.
Okay. How about 5 to 5:30? Would that be okay?
Yeah, that would be better.
Okay.
That'd be better.
Cool. Well, hey, if you don't mind busting out your calendar and just penciling me in there, and then I'm letting Carrie know. And nothing's changing. Don't worry, the rates aren't going up.
Okay.
We just want to remind you how your plan works. I'll show you how to turn in those claims because we owe you guys hundreds of dollars, which is really cool. And then I'll give you guys my contact info.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yep.
Awesome.
Sounds
Well,
good.
Andy,
See
I'll
you
catch you
tomorrow.
guys on Tuesday
Thank you.
between 5 and 5:30. You're welcome.
Okay. Groovy.
So that's the phone call. And then, so I would say, honestly, the older the client is, the more likely that there's like a bad number or something like that. You'll have some clients that have had the policy for 7 years, 10 years, 15 years. A lot of folks back then had home phone numbers and they don't anymore. So you'll go through and you're going to get a lot of these numbers that aren't going to work anymore. Or some people you leave a voicemail to and they don't answer.
Mm-hmm.
So really on a whole page where there's like 11 clients, you might get a couple to answer. You might get one appointment. So the next step is starting to show up at some of these homes.
Yeah. Okay. Can I ask you a question on the phoning one more time?
Yeah.
I remember the first time I tried to do this, I was a little scared almost to call them, and then I was pleasantly surprised with the people that actually answered were all, for the most part, pretty open to me coming by.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of the folks you get in contact with, what percentage would you say on average are like, yeah, pretty open to you coming by?
Oh, in terms of being open, I would say 98% are really open. Every once in a while, you're going to have someone that says we're all set, and
Okay.
I don't push too hard there.
Mm-hmm.
You will have a couple that are like, I think we kind of understand how it works. They might give you a little bit of pushback, not too much. So the biggest thing I'm trying to convey is, hey, have you been turning in your checkups? Most people haven't, so we owe you money. I just want to swing, but you're just trying to convince them to give you a time to sit down, and we owe you money. I want to show you how that works. That's the
Nice.
biggest
Getting
thing.
them paid.
Yep.
That's great. How many people do you think you've helped get extra cash?
Oh man, over 100. I mean, a ton.
Wow.
I don't know.
That's
a
so
lot.
cool. Right
Yeah.
on. Sweet. All right, guys, we're going to now shift. So that's the phone approach. That may seem on the surface like that's the biggest part of getting in front of these folks, but what you'll find is that's actually second to showing up in person. So Matt's going to talk to us about approaching at the door.
Yeah. So you're gonna see it's the exact same. So I will show up to their home, and again, in terms of figuring out when I'm gonna show up, if both spouses are 60 or older, I will start off my morning almost like they're a morning referral, a morning warm lead. I'll have my 7 people that I know are 60 or plus, and I'm going to show up to their houses in the morning. Same thing if they're younger, I'll show up to their houses 5 to 8. So and then in between I'm opening up new turf or going to other leads. So when I show up, I'll have my business card, I'll have everything with me. I'm going to knock on the door, take 2 steps back, just like you would normally, and then it's the same thing. Hey, is it Andy? Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Andy, I'm Matt with Family Heritage, and guys, it's the exact same approach. You may remember taking out a cancer policy with ICU back in 2012.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. Well, hey, I actually tried calling. I think we had an old number for you, but we're actually just in the area this week catching up with all of our clients, briefly reminding them how their plans work, also checking Andy to see if we owe any families any money. A lot of folks have been really good about doing their cancer screenings, but I'd forgotten they can get money back for doing that sort of thing. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't mind me
Good
asking.
point. Yeah, I don't think we've gotten any money back.
Yeah, awesome. And hey, I didn't know, did I happen to catch you and Carrie home today?
Yeah, she's here.
Okay, cool.
She's in the kitchen.
Well, I know
Come on in.
awesome, cool.
Yeah.
So that's great. So it's really very, very similar. I will throw in, I try and call everyone first. So the one thing I'll kind of add in is hey, I tried calling, and either it looks like y'all had an old number, or hey, I tried calling, I think I left you a message.
Mm-hmm.
So it puts it a little bit on them. You're gonna have some people start apologizing to you of like, oh, I'm so sorry, we meant to get, instead of it being on you, which is really, great.
Takes you from like a peddler to like,
I tried
this
calling.
is like almost like a service to you.
Totally.
You know, which really it is.
Yep. Totally.
Okay, awesome. So approaching guys, it's not don't be intimidated by
Yep.
it. It's actually really fun because, you know, almost all of them are like, oh, okay. And you should expect to walk in. What percentage of the doors when you
Tons, and if not, you're going to get a great appointment.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the other ones that bought, they may not have been available then, but and then the other part with that is, let's say they're not home, I will leave a card, and on the back of my card, I'm writing them a note. Hey, Johnny, y'all have a cancer policy with us. We probably owe you some money from doing yearly checkups. Please give me a call, schedule an appointment for this week. And so, I mean, the rest of a lot of my reservicing came from people that call me like, hey, I missed you. Can you come back tomorrow or whatever?
Yep.
Yep.
It's just super critical that you're only doing that with people whose agents are non-active.
Right.
Because it's against the policy to go ahead and do that if their agent's active. But
Yes,
there's
for sure.
plenty of non-active agents
Tons.
that have existing
Tons.
policyholders because the products are that good and they stay on the books. So
Yep.
awesome. All right. So I've let you in.
Yeah.
Whether it's a phone call or you approach me at the door. Now here's the money part. So how do you do this whole meeting? Because it's different than what we've learned in Sales Academy,
Yep.
And what we've all learned and through Protecting Families. So take us through from beginning to end.
Okay.
The reservice appointment. So let's say we just came down and we sat at the kitchen table.
Yeah.
And here we are.
So what's great, guys, is you're going to see a lot of it is exactly like you'd want to do at the sales presentation when you're doing the first demo. So Andy just nailed it. We're going for the kitchen table. So again, we want to get them at the kitchen table if possible. We want them to be able to see close up what we're doing. I want the spouses together. So we're going to the kitchen table. Andy, great. If you can sit there. Carrie, if you can sit right next to him, that'd be awesome. That way, sometimes it's the same thing, just like a regular presentation where the dad's way over there, the mom's, it's the same idea. We want them close together. We want within 18 inches of us if possible. So that's the first step for sure. And then, it's been really fun. I just start building rapport, just like the cancer plan. So I'm Matt. I've been with the company for 6 years, and it's really cool. I get to help hire and train a bunch of new agents in your area. We're growing, which is exciting. But the part of my career is just catching up with a lot of our clients that may not have seen an agent in a while. And so don't worry, nothing's changing. But I'm just going to tell them what's going to happen, kind of like you do with the presentation. Like, I'm going to go over how your plan works, remind you some of the benefits, because a lot of folks have forgotten about 90% of it. I'm going to go over some of the wellness stuff, because we probably owe you some money from doing checkups, which is really cool. And you'd mentioned you and Carrie have been doing those over the years, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, she does.
She does, yeah. And y'all hadn't turned in a whole lot of those, is that right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Carrie, have you done it? No.
No, okay, cool. So that's exciting. We owe you a bunch of money, so I'm gonna show you how that works, and you can still turn it in. Don't worry, there's no time limit, which
Okay.
is really cool.
Oh, cool.
And then, I'm gonna share with you some stories of folks in the area that have used the plan, which is really great. But nothing's changing, so don't
Okay.
worry. So, but we've got kind of a crazy career. We talk to folks about cancer and heart issues and accidents all day, and it's really not pleasant, but it is amazing how common it all is. I mean, I know here in the county, Dusty's the fire chief in Arlinda. They went through prostate cancer 7 weeks after we bought our plan. Went through 33 rounds of radiation. I know the principal over at Cross Plains High School. She got diagnosed with breast cancer, her first mammogram, and she beat it. But my family used to not even have any family history, and then I had 2 brothers go through it. It seems like a lot of our clients that have had this plan for the years, usually have known someone closer to them. If you don't mind asking, Andy, who are some folks closer to you that's had to go through cancer over the years? Have you guys had more friends neighbors or
lots of friends. We've had multiple friends whose kids are the same age as ours who've had cancer. We actually just lost Carol, one of my wife's best friends. She like 6 months ago to brain cancer.
Wow.
All 4 of my grandparents have had cancer. Carrie's father-in-law just passed away. He had cancer in the past, but he had heart problems.
Okay.
Yeah, tons. We've had a lot of it. It seems like the older we get, the more we keep hearing about.
So common, right? And did a lot of them do surgery and radiation and chemo and all that?
Yeah, a lot of them tried.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you don't mind me asking, had you or Carrie ever had any heart issues or anything like that before? I know you mentioned your
No.
Okay, cool. Well, this is cool. I'm going to show you how your plan works. And do you guys happen to know what your policy was? I know we mentioned that the other day on the phone.
probably in a filing cabinet somewhere.
Okay. Would you like me to remail you a fresh copy? That way you guys have one extra one?
Sure.
Okay.
That'd
We'll
be great.
remail that. I've got something that's really similar to what you got. It's not exactly the same. The idea is the exact same. The numbers are going to be very close, which is really
Okay.
cool.
Okay.
So y'all took this out back in July of 2012. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
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 So-
how about the guy who signed us up? Is he not around anymore?
Oh yeah, no, Eric. He did really well with our company. Actually protected a bunch of families, but he did move on with our company. So
Okay.
we'll be your contact from here on
Oh,
out.
cool.
But
Good
he
to
did
know who to call then.
Yeah, he did a great job for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. So this is great. So health insurance is great, Andy, and that pays the doctors. This is for all the other stuff. So these plans pay cash directly to you, whether you miss work or not. Disability plans are great, but they only pay 60% of your income, and you have to miss work, and you have to prove that you can't work.
Mm-hmm.
It's guaranteed renewable, and these rates are never going to go up.
Okay.
And just a little thing, you'll probably appreciate this. The company's doing awesome. If you call us during the day, you still get a real live person that speaks English.
Oh, that's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So you guys
Good to
have
know.
the preferred level. So this thing is awesome. Right when we were first diagnosed with cancer, your plan's going to pay you $1,500 to $2,000 just like that.
That's right. Okay, I remember that.
You'll see when you guys turn in some of your wellness checkups, we pay pretty quick, usually within 2 to 3 weeks.
Doesn't it pay for like treatment and stuff too?
Yeah, there's so many benefits.
Oh, yeah,
It pays
okay.
a ton. That's just the first occurrence.
Okay.
If it's breast or prostate, you get an extra $750 to $1,000 because those are the most common men and women. Even a skin cancer mole pays $600 for the first occurrence. I'm probably going to use that for my fair skin. Every night we're in the hospital for cancer, it pays $300 a day.
Okay.
So some families are in there for a day or two. My brother Mark spent 35 nights, and I know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but that little boy Ethan in Cross Plains that passed
Yeah,
away
I heard
7
about
years,
him.
they spent months and months and months.
Oh wow.
So here's the thing, Eddie. The cool thing with our plan, and this is different from Colonial, Aflac, Allstate, Combined, Monumental. Our policy has no lifetime limits. There's no caps on what it pays.
Okay.
Why do you think it would be so important to have no lifetime limits on a policy like that? On a cancer
so
policy?
it'll keep paying you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't hit your cap?
Yep. And with cancer, sometimes you can beat it after 6 months, and sometimes it can take a year and a half, right?
Oh yeah. Our other friend, who also has brain cancer, she's been going through it since like 2010.
Yeah.
So it's like
Wow.
7 years
Okay.
back and forth, and yeah.
And if,
I don't think they have a cancer policy.
Really?
No.
Okay. And if you don't mind me asking, had y'all ever looked at other cancer policies before, or is this kind of the first time?
Mhm.
Okay. So what is, like, most folks have something offered through work, and all those policies are fine, but this has the no lifetime limits,
Ah,
which is
okay.
so key. So this is the fun part where we owe you money. Now, if y'all have been doing your yearly checkups, you guys can get at least $50 back per adult for PAPs, mammograms, PSAs, and colonoscopies since you bought the policy.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
you've owned this since 2012. That's 5 years. If you guys have both been doing checkups, that's $100 a year
yeah,
at least.
She does every year.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that could be an extra $300 to $600 just like
Oh,
that.
cool.
And
Okay.
I'm gonna write.
You'll get that paid for us.
Yeah, I'm gonna write it down. So all she'll need to do, Carrie, is that you're just gonna need to call your doctor and ask them for the itemized receipt or the results. Anything that says your name and what they did. That's
Okay.
the key. They're not as picky with the wellness stuff.
Uh-huh.
And then I'm gonna write your policy number, so you'll write that on there, and then you just mail it to the company, attention claims.
Okay.
But I'm gonna write all that down for you on the front of this.
Okay. Sweet.
But that's kind of cool. That's $500 or $600.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And for guys,
I didn't know Santa was coming over today.
Yeah. And for folks that have had this for 10 or 15 years, you're going to find them $1,500 to $2,000. Pretty cool.
I know where I'm using
Yes.
this money for.
Yep. Extra coverage. So every surgery for cancer pays up to $8,000. Now it depends on the severity of it. A brain tumor is really severe. Skin cancer is not that big a deal.
Mhm.
Lots of other benefits. Prosthetics, bone marrow transplants going to pay you $8,000 to $10,000.
Oh my gosh.
Radiation and chemo, $300 a day. Again, some folks don't do any treatments, but other folks go 5 days a week, 6 weeks straight.
Okay.
Do you see how this money coming in kind of helps out with mortgage payments and deductibles and that sort of thing?
Oh yeah. Our health insurance is way worse than it was when we bought it too.
Totally. Everyone's is, right?
Yeah.
I always tell folks,
Glad we have it.
everyone's health insurance over the years has gotten a little worse. It doesn't matter who's president. you know?
Oh, shoot. Yeah, it's true.
And then there's even a travel benefit. So, the Kleins, they had to go to MD Anderson down in Houston. This will pay for the gas and hotel, even plane flights.
Yeah, actually, our friend went to MD Anderson.
Really?
Mhm. And the other one that died went to Pittsburgh.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
And so that's where you can really see the cost skyrocket. And this way, hopefully you guys would never have to travel that far, but if you did,
Yeah, it would suck.
you wouldn't have to
Yeah.
blow through your savings.
Yeah.
So it's got the cancer, and what's cool, it's not
Okay.
just for cancer, it's got ICU too. So if y'all are in the
Okay,
ICU,
I thought there was something else to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
so if you're in the ICU for anything legal, heart attack, stroke, car accident, pneumonia,
Legal.
allergic
Okay, good.
reaction, I've seen people use this for kidney failure, ATVs, all sorts of stuff. Yours pays $600 a day IC for anything, doubles to $1,200 if it's a regular car or truck, and there's an $8,000 accidental death.
Okay. Okay.
So not for like the broken fingers, but this plan covers you guys really well for all the big stuff.
Okay.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Yeah. That is good.
And then did you remember the best part, that if y'all don't use it after 25 years, you get every penny you pay him back?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I don't remember when.
Yep.
When do you know when that'll be?
Yeah, so the big day for y'all is July 16th, 2032.
Oh,
And
just 2032.
yeah, wait,
Nice.
we're getting there. I mean, gosh, Andy, 20 years.
I'm just
I
kidding.
mean,
I know
y'all are,
time flies.
you know, it's going to be pretty sweet. What do you think you'll use that money for?
Who knows?
It's going to be just under $26,000.
Oh my gosh, nice.
Now, when we turn in some of these wellness benefits,
Mhm.
it'll come out of there. But I always tell folks, take the money, all the money you can now, and you
Mhm.
still get the rest back later.
Yeah.
Super
okay.
cool. So
Yeah,
that'll be
why not?
26,000, and then I'm gonna write down my name and number. You've owned it since July 2012.
Okay.
So when you and Carrie call your doctor to get those itemized receipts, you can call back till then, and they'll
Okay.
have it right on their computer. They just press a button, it
Alright.
prints right off. And then I'm gonna write down how to use the wellness. So get itemized receipt. So I'm writing this on the brochure. Write policy number on it. And then 3, mail it to the company attention claims. You could
Okay.
take that next step. I need to do this, honestly, guys, and just make a 1-page how to file wellness
Put
benefit.
that information on there.
That way you don't have to write it off. But that's what I
Okay.
do right now. So,
Okay.
pretty cool. Isn't that awesome?
Mhm.
And we've had some families out here actually use the plan. This is Dusty up in Orlinda, and this is what he wrote. He's doing fine, but he wrote a brief history on me. I'm a 55-year-old male, good health. On November 2012, I received word of my brother, 2 years older than me, that had died of bone and lung cancer. So that's where I'm going to read the local claim. I won't go through the whole thing for time's sake, but I'm going to read a local claim in their area as close as I can get. And then, so I'm going to get emotional again. The why behind that is we're getting the emotions going again. So Andy, I mean, you guys bought this 5 years ago.
Mhm.
Most folks file it away.
Mhm.
Just seeing it all again, man, what did you like the most? The money to you, the ICU coverage, the no limits, or the heck, if you don't use it, you actually get it all back?
Probably. I mean, probably both. I mean, just the benefits coming to us would be great if, God forbid, we're ever in that situation. But
Totally.
the money back is cool too.
Yeah.
It's crazy we've had it for 5 years.
I know.
Doesn't seem like it was that long ago when Eric came by.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, and I've been doing this for 6 years, and I wouldn't say all of my clients that have used the plan have gotten filthy rich,
Mhm.
but man, there's some serious peace of mind of when folks have had to use the claim. They've just had thousands of dollars for extra meals out, the unexpected medical bill that every family gets, and they didn't have to rush back to work. And
Yeah.
there's just some serious peace of mind. And Family Heritage is awesome because we don't advertise. We're kind of old school. We actually rely on good word of mouth. So if you're
Okay.
actually sick, they're actually going to try and pay you as quickly as possible.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really
Nice.
cool. So Andy, I'll be your contact from here on out.
Okay.
I'm going to show you 1 or 2 other things. You
Okay.
don't have to get them. Don't worry.
Okay.
But we just like to make sure you kind of know what else we offer while you're
Mhm.
healthy.
Okay.
So, man, cancer is a big deal, obviously. It
Mhm.
affects 1 in 2 men. It's the number 2 disease affecting Americans.
Mhm.
If cancer is number 2, what do you think is number 1?
Heart.
Yep. And then not far behind it, number 3 is strokes.
Oh,
And
wow, yeah.
it's kind of a silly question if y'all ever know anyone that
Yeah,
has
Carrie's
stent.
mom's had a heart attack.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Or actually had quadruple bypass surgery. It was,
Holy cow. Okay. And before cancer hit my family, heart issues is all we had. I knew when I was 50-something I was going to have a heart issue just because that's how my family worked.
Mhm.
My dad had 2 heart surgeries. He's doing fine, but each time he missed work for 3 months. My mom was trying to work and take care of him and take care of the house inside and out and raise my sister who was in high school.
Mhm.
My brothers, we all lived out of state. We all took off a week of work each time and came back home. And I'll be honest, Andy, it wasn't like cancer,
Mhm.
but it was pretty crazy around my house for those 3 to
Mhm.
6 months each time.
Mhm.
So you said Carrie's mom. Have y'all known any other friends or family that's had to go through heart issues over the years?
I'm sure. Yeah. I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've had guys from my high
Probably a
school
ton
that,
of 'em.
that were all-star athletes that have already passed away. I mean, it's so common, right?
Yeah.
So the risk factors for heart disease are kind of funny because there's so many of them. So I'm 33. I'm going to use me as an example. We'll kind of work
Okay.
through it. So it does run in my family. My dad and both my grandmas. I'm getting older every year. It's the weirdest thing.
Mhm.
So I'm busting out the heart brochure at this point. My cholesterol's been high at times. I thought it was a good idea to smoke when I was in high school and college. My blood pressure's been high before. I'm active, but not as active as I could be. Everyone's a little stressed out. I mean, you're self-employed, so there's no stress there, right?
Yeah, none.
Yeah. And then my diet's not perfect, and it's never going to be. I like fried chicken, pizza, and barbecue. Those are some of my favorites. I don't have diabetes, but man, I can check off some of these other ones. Most folks kind of joke with me they can check off at least half of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got this cool heart and stroke plan. It is really new here in Tennessee. We got a great accident plan. I'm going to show them to you both. There's a couple levels. They're super affordable. Half of our clients add on extra coverage to broaden their coverage. Half don't. Whatever y'all decide is totally cool, honestly.
Okay.
We just like to make sure everyone gets to look at this stuff while they're healthy.
Okay.
Because, you know, these plans are kind of weird. There's only 2 times folks really want it. It's when I'm bugging you on a Thursday. You know, when do y'all think is the only other time families slow down enough to really wish they could get extra coverage?
Yeah, when they're at the doctor.
Yep. What's the problem then?
They've already got it.
Already got it, right?
Yeah.
So because of that, if y'all don't mind just taking a really good look at this, just like your cancer plan, and at the end, if there's a level you like and it fits your budget, I'll show you how to enroll today. And if not, then just tell me no. You won't hurt my feelings one bit.
Okay.
Sound fair?
Totally.
You guys know how to say no, don't you?
Not really, but yeah, that's cool.
Okay, Kara's the no one, right? It's always one. One
Kara's
says yes,
good.
one
Oh,
says
yeah.
okay, cool. Well, this thing is awesome. So, you know, I think our
My daughter would tell you I didn't know how to say no at all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yep. So this thing's awesome. So I mean, our cancer policy is great because cancer is devastating. Andy, I almost like our heart and stroke plan more simply because statistically, the odds of a family using it, it's actually really, really high. So I'm using my dad as an example. Right when we're first diagnosed with a heart attack or stroke, it's going to pay you $3,000. But let's say you're on top of your checkups and you catch it early. Every day you're in the hospital for anything heart or stroke related, it's going to pay you $450 a day.
Okay.
If you're in there for a surgery, you get an extra $600 a day.
Okay.
So we use my dad as an example. You know, he's had 2 surgeries, spent 12 to 14 nights total. That's over $1,000 a day. That would be 12 to 14 grand.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and with Carrie's dad, I mean, you said how many times has he been in the hospital? Or her mom?
Oh my God. I mean, well, yeah, she's been in the hospital the one main time for the surgery.
Okay.
But he's been in and out of the hospital with, he's got diabetes and he's got
All sorts of stuff,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So just like your cancer plan,
I don't think he would qualify.
yeah, the heart plan also has no lifetime limits on the important benefits. Why do you think it's so important to have no lifetime limits on a heart policy?
I mean, a lot of people have heart attacks over and over and over and over and over,
Yep.
mini strokes or stuff like that, probably.
Yep.
So this will pay if you have more than one.
Keeps paying. I mean, those stents and bypasses really are only designed to last 8 or 10 years typically.
Okay.
So yeah, when it happens
didn't know
again,
that. Okay.
heaven forbid, it'll keep paying.
Okay.
And then if y'all are good about doing your checkups, like it sounds like Carrie is at least, if y'all do a cholesterol screening in the first year, you can each get $90 back. If you do an echocardiogram, stress test, MRI, CT scan, not as common, but you can each get $150 back a year.
Okay.
That pays for months and months of the plan.
Yeah.
So are you kind of getting an idea how it works?
Totally. How much is it?
Yeah, so you can see, I'll get to that in a second, it's super
Okay.
affordable. You can see it works a lot like the cancer plan. Did you just like the fact that it covers the other 2 big diseases really well, or again, how the money's paid directly to you?
Both?
Yeah, why do you say
Yeah.
that?
Just because I actually remember thinking when we got the cancer policy, like, you know, it's just cancer, but what if something else happened, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Dookie, he's the farmer over there, and he's pretty healthy, but he's known a lot of folks who got their heart issues. He's in the same thing, like, just in case.
Okay.
Cool. Well, yeah, I'll show you how it works. There's an accident plan too, guys. I won't do it for time's sake, but I would, same thing. You just kind of go over, build the need. If they have, I always say, I'll do it actually just for right now. So that's really covers the other 2 big things. And then the other thing we talk to folks about is accidents. And I always tell folks, Andy, honestly, if you sit at a desk all day, you may not need an accident plan. But golly, if you have kids or you drive a lot or you're on your feet a lot, this is a pretty cool thing. So the average cost of an accident on a family is just about $6,000. So
Holy cow.
yeah, and I've had 2 friends pass away from car accidents in the middle of the day sober. When I was a kid, I broke my leg, broke my wrist, cut my arm open, cut my head open. And every year we have a client who slips on their back porch after that ice storm and breaks their tailbone, right?
Oh, yeah.
So this is kind of more for the day-to-day stuff that happens all the time. It covers you for any kind of accident that's legal. So if y'all are in the emergency room for any kind of accident, it could even be like a 2nd or 3rd degree burn cooking. Pays $300. $450 a day we're in the hospital. You know, your first hospital visit of the year overnight, you get a $900 bonus.
Okay.
Kind of weird, but pretty cool. $600 for an ambulance. If you guys break a leg, it pays $7,500.
That'd be good for the deductible if something happened.
Totally. And you were telling me about your CrossFit
And this
gym.
gives you your money back if you don't use it?
Yep, you got it.
Okay.
And it pays
And the
directly
heart
to
one
you.
does too?
Yeah, you got it. And I'll show you how that. I'll show you the pricing and the money back features in a second. And this is kind of cool for the day-to-day stuff. I mean, especially with you having that CrossFit gym. I know those weights are pretty heavy, right? So one wrong move, it could.
Well, maybe for you.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I love it. It pays $150 for an X-ray, even if you don't break anything, but you want to get checked out. Pretty
Yeah.
cool. So
sometimes they just do an X-ray if you don't know.
Yep.
You know, I've been in there before, and they're like, I don't know what's wrong, and then take an X-ray. I'm like, well, it's not broken.
Yep.
So this would still pay for that.
Still pay. Yeah.
Oh wow.
And then
okay.
are your kids pretty active or?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is something every parent's like, yeah, this would have been helpful last year. So really
Okay.
cool. So this kind of covers the day-to-day stuff, but also some of the bigger accidents that can happen. And this is really cool. So I'm going to show you the pricing because, man, they're super affordable.
Okay.
So I'll bust it out, pull out the pricing. And this is something you can kind of do ahead of time, guys, if you're really prepared. If you want to take it to the next level. Because on their brochure, it's going to show you their ages. So if you wanted to save yourself some time while you're actually out there, you could already have written down their elite and preferred. And I'll show 2 different levels just because I do on the reservicing. Elite and preferred heart and stroke, elite and preferred accident. So you've got it right there. So yeah, the elite on the heart is just 75, the preferred is just 55, and the accident is just 100, and the heart and stroke preferred is 60. And I left out, normally I would do a little bit of a price build up. So before I show them, like, yeah, I mean, some folks have been telling me their health insurance costs $600, $700, $800 a month.
Yeah.
What's great, man, you probably remember these plans don't cost that much. The heart and stroke plan for you and your whole family is just $75 a month, and the accident is just $100.
Okay.
And even the next level down is 55 or 60.
Yeah. So would that be the level we have on our cancer policy? Then?
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
preferred level.
That's still good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
totally. And I'll show you. And most folks are joking me that like those prices combined is less than their cable and internet.
Yeah,
pretty
less.
funny. So it's just
Rip off
3/3,
the charge for that
2/3.
stuff.
So that pays $3,000 if you have a heart attack or stroke, $2,000
Oh, I
over
get it.
$1,000 a day in the hospital for a heart surgery. That pays $700 a day. $7,500 for broken leg, $5,000 for broken leg.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Here's the cool part: just like your cancer plan, in 25 years, everything you pay into this, you're gonna get back.
Okay, so it's just like the cancer.
Just like the cancer, and just like your cancer, heaven forbid you and Carrie both passed away early, that money go to the kids.
Okay.
Especially nowadays, Andy. I mean, a lot of folks kind of joke with me their savings account doesn't pay a lot of interest, So they're really like, heck, this is just extra forced savings, and then heaven forbid something happens, I have extra coverage that's going to pay me. And what you may remember from years ago is the applications are super simple. It's just one page. So all we do is basic info, your name, age, date of birth, put down beneficiaries. I'm going to double check the health questions. I've already asked you a couple of them. Then we're going to figure out which level makes sense for you. And then, your all's plan comes out on the 15th. You guys can do the same day of the month or a different day of the month. It doesn't matter to us.
Oh, okay.
But let me just double check on the heart plan real quick. Have you or Carrie or the kids ever had any sort of heart-related issues or anything like that?
Nope.
No stents, no bypasses, anything like that? Okay. A heart murmur, and a mitral valve prolapse are both okay, but anything more serious would be an exclusion. So that's exciting, man. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
A lot of couples have had some sort of little thing, so that's a big deal. And then no AIDS or HIV, right?
No.
Didn't think it better not be.
I sure hope not.
Okay, cool. So you guys fully qualify, which is great. How it works, the policy comes in the mail a couple weeks, and then the heart coverage goes into effect 30 days after the company gets the application. The accident is just, it goes into effect right away, which is really cool.
Okay.
But in order for us just to get the application at least started, we would need y'all's main mailing address. Now I see we're here at 7834. Is that still the best mailing address for you guys?
Yep.
Okay, 7834. And then I'm going to go into the close just like normal, guys. I'm going to get all their info down, beneficiaries and everything. And then that's when I go to figuring out which level. I'll re-explain the differences. I'm like, awesome, got all the info. And yeah, Andy, everyone kind of does different things because everyone's in different situations. Luckily in y'all's age range, there's not a huge price difference. Most folks have been doing the elite, but some folks are doing the preferred because it's a little bit cheaper, but still really good coverage. Which one did you think made the most sense for you guys?
I say we do the preferred.
Preferred on the heart and accident.
Yeah, because that'll keep it together. That's not that much,
Totally.
1 month.
I mean, and honestly, with all that money we got coming to you for all those wellness checkups, it's going
That's
to
a
pay
good
for that
point.
for like the half year.
Oh,
So
that's a really good point.
pretty cool. So
Okay.
I'll get this, and then your other plan comes out on the 15th. Did you want it to be the same day or a different day?
It can be the same.
Cool. Put that. And then awesome. I'll start filling this out. The only last thing we would need is if you won't mind grabbing a voided check, they don't give all that info to us, and I'll get this set up for you.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Awesome. So we got that. I'm going to get their welcome packets. I'm going to re-explain everything to them, what they bought. And then the last part, and this is really important. Well, Andy, we really appreciate your business over the years. I know it's not always easy keeping an extra bill. And like I said, I mean, heaven forbid y'all get sick. This won't solve everything, but it can make a really big difference. And I appreciate your business myself. I'm your agent now, so if something happens, I'm going to drive right over, sit at y'all's table, and help you guys get paid.
Okay.
And then I was going to ask you for a huge favor. A big way we work is actually off of referrals. And I'm not going to ask you for 100, don't worry. But, Dusty, when I sat down with him, the first time I sat down with him, I forgot to we just kind of messed up there. And he thought of 8 new friends and family and other businesses that I should go talk to. Larissa, she was telling me about, her sister and mom I had somehow missed last time. I'm not going to ask you for 100 referrals, don't worry. But I was curious, who are a few friends or business associates or neighbors or church members, or folks with HR, heaven forbid they got sick, you'd hope they had a chance to look at something like this. You mentioned your sister lives in the area, right?
Yeah. I was
What's her
actually
name?
thinking of her, Rachel.
Cool.
Rachel.
Cool.
Yep.
And then you guys have an office assistant, right, with your office?
We do.
Has she ever seen this?
No. I
No?
don't think so.
Okay. Would you mind if I went and kind of talked to her? She doesn't have to get it. Okay.
Yeah, she's cool. Her name's Nicole.
Nicole, great. That's a
Yeah.
great one. And then you said, I know you mentioned CrossFit a lot. Which gym do you go to?
Talent.
Do
Yeah,
you
you should go see them because they get hurt. I mean, not them get hurt all the time, but
Yeah.
they're high risk probably. Dennis and Tara.
Are they the owners?
Yeah.
Are they pretty cool?
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Dennis and Tara, cool. That's a great one. I really appreciate this, by the way.
Yeah.
And then who are some other self-employed folks or small business owners?
Go see Jeremy Smith. He's a friend of mine.
Cool.
He's a financial planner.
Okay, awesome.
But he
So-
does CrossFit all the time, so you might like that accent plan.
Awesome. So I'll continue to go through asking for referrals, but a big focus for me nowadays is I'm going to get some immediate family members and then get as many businesses. I mean, especially for a lot of these folks that are working at employers, you can get 2 HR leads from every reservice, which is pretty cool. Even if they retired, they will still probably remember the HR person they used to work at. A lot of these folks that are retired worked there for 20 or 30 years and are pretty established. So, yeah, that's kind of how we do it.
Awesome. That's amazing. That was really good. And actually sitting through it and listening to you do it, even in a role play, it was, so low pressure, it's such a no-brainer to at least look at it, and it makes so much sense to add coverage to it the way you presented it. So, that was awesome.
Cool.
So, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate
Totally.
it.
Absolutely.
Let's go make this work. All right. Thanks for joining us.